Why did more people trust Morristown Hamlin healthcare system last year? Maybe it's our compassionate, highly skilled ER with round-the-clock emergency surgical services, the area's only cath lab for heart attack patients, our comprehensive regional cancer center with personalized treatment plans, the only local hospital delivering our next generation of babies, and all part of the region's top-performing healthcare network. Morristown Hamlin Healthcare System, a member of Covenant Health.
Now the question is, and it's a good one to end on, discuss the difficulties. Explain to Tennesseans, explain to people here in Hamlin County how when you have a majority in the House and Senate, it's still difficult to get legislation to the President's desk, which is frustrating, I know, to people. And the reason it's difficult, even though we've actually, I don't like to brag on the Senate, okay, I don't, because I still don't think we've addressed the big issue that matters most, which is the fiscal issue. And until we address that, to me, we haven't done what we need to do. But believe it or not, the Senate has actually been prolific in passing things this year. It's been incredible. We passed an education bill with Lamar Alexander's leadership that did away with ever having national school boards. Okay, I see Darden over here. Roe supported it. It was a great piece of legislation. He worked with Lamar, as I did, and others to make this happen. But, you know, we've passed a lot of legislation. The things that are difficult, I mean, how can we not have funded Zika? I mean, y'all are watching on television, people down in Florida. What a terrible thing. Can you imagine ending up having a child with the difficulties? And here we have people in Florida that are contracting this disease, and we haven't passed it yet. We voted on an amendment to fund it at $1.1 billion, but there was a disagreement over pay-fors. To get down to the bottom line of your question, it is that in the Senate, even though in every other institution in the world the majority prevails, you've got to have 60 votes. And there are 54 Republican votes in the Senate. We typically try to act in large bipartisan ways, which we've done, believe it or not. I mean, people aren't recognizing this, but we've passed a lot of bills with huge bipartisan support. But when it gets down to paying for things, Republicans and Democrats, just generally speaking, have a different point of view as to how to pay for things. Republicans are going to tilt first towards cutting something else. I'm not trying to be pejorative, I think y'all would recognize that, and although Republicans should be better at that, okay, I'm certainly not saying we're great at that, and Democrats, generally speaking, are going to tilt towards raising revenues or not paying for it, okay? That's a general starting place. And so we end up having disputes over those kinds of things, and you have to have 60 votes to get it out of the Senate, so that makes it difficult. It's the 60-vote cloture vote to end debate that makes it very difficult for us to pass legislation on numbers of issues. But in fairness, if you look at this last 9 months, it has been a very, very productive year, probably the most productive year in 15 years. The American people haven't seen it. And, of course, again, we still haven't addressed, to me, the elephant in the room, and that is how we're going to deal with these deficits. And until we do that, I'm going to continue to be somewhat negative on our actions in Washington, because it's the one issue that is going to threaten our nation more than any other. It's the one issue that threatens our national security and our economic security. And until it's dealt with, we're leaving something out there for a future generation that we shouldn't be leaving. But with that, let me just stop and say thank y'all for coming early today. Thank you for letting me be here. It is a tremendous privilege to do what I do, and I thank you for that.